Okay, I got a ball. One.
Oi, watch out.
He's low. Siding.
Coming, change him.
Yeah, I'm 1.5, I'm 1.5, Copy.
SK's 2 shot. SK's 2
I got
shot.
tried.
SK's 2 shot.
He's dead. Let's go!
Wow, what an amazing intro, alright? And you've probably watched some of those games, and if you're a competitive player or you're casual, you probably have a couple of questions on exactly what they are. And I have not seen a single video explaining what they are, so this is exactly what this video is. So I'll be breaking down Hive SCRIMS down into 5 parts. So the very first one is, what are they? So what are Hive SCRIMS? The second is, how to play in them, how do you compete? Then third, I'll be showing you the very basics of it, the strategies and the gameplay. Then I'll be showing you one round from my POV, and I'll be pausing, I'll analyzing, I'll show you what players are doing and at what exact time. And at the very end, I'll be explaining you why so many people play scrims and why people love it. Without further ado, hope you enjoyed the video. Hive SCRIMS are essentially the big leagues of Hive Treasure Wars. All the best players come together in great teams of 4 to compete in the most competitive events possible. These players are the best of the best, and they know almost everything there is to know about the game. Now, these players don't really come together to create a team of 4 out of nowhere. They usually join a clan, which is a large group of players who all compete in scrims, but some players join to have fun, leaderboard grind, and play other games. Clans have names such as Valor, Riot, Dawn, Omen, Avidity, and many more. Each clan at most has 3 teams: the A team, B team, and C team. The best players usually get the A team spot, then B, then C. A clan with over 50 members, spots are tight, and it's hard as a new member to get a spot. But one thing great about scrims is the new players will get taught all there is to know from the older, more experienced players. And as the meta changes, players will adapt. The main game mode that scrims are held on is Treasure War Squads. This is chosen because of the zero oranging factor, or there's no luck involved. All of the normal rules apply in games, but there are some rules that we have added on to make the more game balanced. These include no block breakers, because if a treasure is broken within the first 10 minutes, the game is essentially over, making it have little to no effort to break treasures and making the game not interesting. Each team is also limited to 1 bower per team, because a game becomes a spammy mess with 4 bowers. Each game is first to 3, with some games adding practice rounds at the start. There's also no shop glitching, cheating, or using demounts under 10 ms. If your mouse double clicks and you cannot stop it from doing so, the Weave software is called DC Prevent. And what they do is they stop double clicking from occurring. You cannot use any clients that give you advantages such as Orion, Fate, etc. But all PC players must have a software installed called AnyDesk. It is used to search a person's computer for cheats. Players of the opposing team can call an SS, or it stands for screen share, if they think a person is cheating, and if they're caught, the team will get automatic loss. After 10 minutes, all treasures will be automatically destroyed, and when the in-game timer reaches 5 minutes, all players must come to mid and not leave. This is in play because players will often run around and the time will run out and no winner will be declared. Now, with all the rules and what Hive SCRIMS are, how could you join a clan and compete? If you want to compete in scrims, there are 4 main ways. The easiest way is to get 8 of your friends together, create teams of 4, and just have fun. This is the least competitive way, but often it's extremely entertaining. The second way to play is to join a clan. And I'll show you how to join a clan later in the video, but after you do so, you'll play against your clanmates for practice, learn from them, and you'll also play scrims against other clans that count for scores. And scores are real scrims that count for wins and losses, for example, 5 losses and 20 wins. But you can also scrim against other clans for practice, so they do not count for scores. The third way is to play on a server like Ranked Treasure Wars. This is where I would start personally playing for the first time, because all you need to do is join a ranked queue and wait for players to join and then start. It's an easy way to learn and get better. What's also cool about these types of servers is it has elo, making it more competitive, and it shows the player's skill level and their experience. The final and most competitive way to play is tournament servers. These servers have thousands of players, and they also have clans that are ready to compete for the one top spot. You can have up to 32 teams in one tournament, and although there are many servers, I'm going to be showcasing one of them. Inertia.
Oh, is it still able to kill him? It's a 1v1. Oh my, I bet Big Time and Crane are both shaking like a ton.
So I just an inertia on my alt account, and this is probably an example of what someone might do when they're first running for the first time. I'm going to give you a basic overview. So here we have our important things, like rules. If you read these, it's basic. But for now, I'm going to focus on clans, the tournaments, and the clan v clan. Now, first let's start with tournaments. Tournaments are really fun, but what they do is they announce it, you enroll, and they give you the time and what people are playing. So see, look, here are they playing. Be ready, starting in 17 minutes, and then they give you the results. And it's really fun. It's probably super competitive, and it's a lot of fun. But here we have our clan v clan, and here we have clan v clan announcements. And what's unique about Inertia is we actually stream it on the Inertia YouTube channel, which I showed previously. And the reason we do that is because only a finite amount of people can be in a game. So if we stream it live, hundreds of people watch it. It's super fun, super hype. It's one of the best parts, I think. So here we have clan v clan rules, and it's essentially the same thing as what I went over, but it's a little bit more in depth. And if you have any questions, ask the owners, administrators, monitors, tournament staff, and like that. So here's something called map pool, which is actually something I didn't mention, and it narrows all the maps down to a couple, and this way it's more consistent, and so you know what you're going to expect in each scrim. So now down here we have matches, and here it gives you the exact time of the event, and give you who's playing who, and there you go. But here is scrim scores. Scrim scores is, I think it's pretty cool. It shows you what the scores were, and then it might show you, oh, maybe this clan's very good, but this clan's not. So it gives you an idea. And then here's where you enroll your clans. You have your captain, you have your subs, there you go. Now I'm going to move on up to clan servers, and I think this is actually really important for new players because all of the clans are usually condensed down in this one spot, and you can just scroll through, join them, scope them out, see what you like, see what you don't like, and it gives you a big idea, and it gives you a little bit of description of them, which you can read. I think that's really cool. And we have our announcements here for whatever they're going to do, especially important stuff. We have information about all of the different ranks and what they are, reaction rules for receive notifications, and event roles. And because the server just doesn't do tournaments, we also host fun events like Hive Hide and Seek or whatever. But yeah, this is basically what Inertia is. But one fair warning is that Inertia, since it's a competitive environment, there's gonna be cheaters, and when there's cheaters, it's gonna be toxic, and you're just gonna have to deal with that. And it's not the most friendly place to be in, but that's just something you have to deal with here. But with that out of the way, I'm gonna introduce the next segment, which is explaining scrims, which I love this part. I'm gonna show you all the strats and the basics. I'm not gonna go too in depth, but I really like this part, and I really hope you enjoy the next part. Scrims are the most complex strategical game on the Hive, hands down. The amount of effort that players put into studying past games, learning new teams' playstyles, and diving into the meta is honestly crazy. But what sets players and teams apart are their strategies. I will go over the basic overview of scrims. I'll divide it into early, middle, and late game. The early game is basically always the same. Two players split gold, which is one person dropping 2 and the other person dropping 3 gold. This is used to get to mid as quickly as possible. And the player that's getting the gold is called the bridger. Depending on the map, players will immediately go to the same emerald generator, and the one who reaches it first has an advantage. The bridger then gets one more emerald, heads back to base, and after that, they'll go to diamond gen and get max generators. And remember when I said whoever got the first emerald was better off? This is because the player who failed to get the emerald has to run a further distance and get 2 more emeralds, which is a longer route, then causing that player not to get back in time for the same side diamonds. This shows that little small details like this have a larger impact. But on maps like Temple and Pirates, the teams are across from each other, making it so players don't have to fight for emeralds and diamonds on the same side. And also it causes the game to be more mid-fight heavy with more focus on PvP. But in certain maps like Rome and Ruins, teams are side by side making an intense and aggro game. After the first players get emeralds, soon after the next 3 people will go to mid with swords, each player splitting gold to get there faster. With the bridger back at base and 3 players from each side at mid, the first fight will ensue. The first mid fight is very hard to get good at and explain, honestly, but it mostly comes down to team chemistry and experience. But there is one thing I can explain well: trades. Trades are when 2 players on opposing teams fight, usually on flat ground, with the exact same armor and swords. Usually the players will trade hits until they are 1 swing away from death, but unfortunately the player with a lower ping will win if every other condition is the same. Higher CPS wins trades more, better aim always helps, and laggy internet can be a disadvantage.
Okay, go, we can break it.
Some things like ping and internet are sometimes out of your control. You might have high ping, but that does not mean you can't win trades. Players with lower ping will take 1v1s more often, and high ping players will take team fights, where ping is not as a big factor. After the team wins the first mid fight, the surviving players will usually break the bridge of the other team, making it harder to get to mid, when gold for blocks is a scarce resource. If the team survives with 2 or more players, they could choose to rush the opponent's base. It is risky because if you do not succeed, you surrender mid control of your opponent. But if you do win, then well, you break the treasure and the game's over. After the mid fight and bridge breaking, the players will gather emeralds, which is called banking, and around 90% of scrims revolve around banking, which is collecting emeralds. Soon after that, players will get chainmail, and you start to enter sort of the mid game. And the mid game is mostly about PvP, mid control, banking, and defending. After dying, the players will respawn, get tools, head to mid, and they will try to bank and kill their opponents for emeralds. Teams with faster rotations and communication will always do better. But during this time, PvP is not the only thing that is going on. Stars are one of the newish metas that are taking over the competitive scene. Stalls or rushes are when you go through mid or side rush your opponent. If no one deals with the push, then your treasure will be gone, and the game will be over. Stallers will most likely build over the base, making it harder for the defenders to get up there and kill them. Now, if one person is stalling over the base, you cannot have one person defending. With equal armor and swords, that player will drop down and take the 1v1, and the defender loses, the treasure will be gone, and the game will be over. And no one wants to take that risk. So when stalls are happening, you should always have one more person defending, or they must have better loot. One good rule of thumb is they should always have a person defending, because if no one's defending a base, it's very easy for someone to sneak by and break the treasure. One way treasures are broken often are block-ins. This is where a player covers themselves in wood and concrete or other hard to break materials, making it so you can't get hit, and then they break the treasure, they break the defense, and the treasure will be gone. When you're at base, or anywhere really, you should always have tools, because if someone covers yourself in wood at your base, how are you supposed to kill them? So, as the game progresses, players will gather more diamonds, gold, and emeralds. Players are only going to buy things that they're going to use, so things like glass, iron axes, iron pickaxes, and tracking compasses are almost never bought because they really have no advantage. Because the only reason you save M's is for the first diamond set, and you always save it in your ender chest, because that way only your team can access it. And that ender chest is also a gateway for when you're at different bases and you can throw things in right before you die. Now, after most players get chainmail, they will gather diamonds for iron armor, bows, and sometimes iron swords. One unique thing about scrims is armor splits. Armor splits is where you take a full piece of a set armor and you distribute it and trade it with your teammates. I will go over the main 2 splits that are used, iron and diamond. Iron takes in total 3 sets of chainmail and 1 set of iron. The split goes as follows. The iron set will trade iron pants for chainmail pants, for one person, iron boots for chain boots, and iron chestplate or chainmail chestplate. So essentially what you're doing is you're trading the iron chestplate, iron leggings, and iron boots. You don't do the helmet because it's the exact same value as the iron, so it's an iron helmet is equal to a chainmail. And you basically split it, and it's really overpowered. And you might ask, why are you trading pieces? Well, you do this because you can take more hits in total with stone swords. Instead of one person tanking, you have 3 instead. But now for diamond splits, the most overpowered split in the game. It takes 1 iron set and 1 diamond set only, and all you have to do is exchange the leggings and the chestplate, and the split is finished. A full diamond set takes 20 hits to be killed, but with the split, you have 2 players that now take 20 hits instead of 1 with the stone swords. Although these splits are overpowered, they do have weakness. 90% of swords bought in the game are stone. They are cheap and deal good damage, but when a player gets strong gear, stone swords you'll have a hard at times, especially that diamond set. So, when players have splits, buying iron swords deal 1 heart of damage to the split that has the diamond helmet and the diamond boots. Because the other half has the chest plate and the leggings, which is more tanky, so you still take out a heart. The first team to reach a diamond set has a large advantage, and when they split it, it becomes very hard for the team to come back and bank. But the bower of the team defends against rusher, bows at middle, or hits people off coming from mid. One thing I haven't mentioned much is something called comms, and comms are essentially communication with your teammates, and it's extremely important. And comms are like, hey, there's one person inside, come back to base. Oh, I got a bow for you, it's in the chest. Oh, we're really close to diamond set, head mid, place treasure defense, stuff like that. And when you're first starting, you should really listen to the most experienced player on your team, and often they're kind of not really unofficially given like team captain role because they kind of lead the scrim. But it's really important to communicate with your teammates. Say, hey, I'm going mid. Hey, there's one side. You need to comm things that are useful. You're not going to comm, hey, I placed a block. That's useless. You want to comm things that are useful. Hey, there's 2 people at mid. This is information for your teammates that they need to know. But with that out of the way, I'm going to move on to endgame. Now, for late games, they're reached about in half of scrims, because a lot of time the treasure's broken in the first half, and it's almost impossible to come back with, 20 minutes left on the clock and before the treasures are automatically destroyed. Endgame begins when there's about 10 minutes on the clock, which is sudden death. Players will buy out gapples, get diamonds, and iron swords to prepare for the last fight, because all treasures are destroyed, and if you die, you die. This last fight is usually at mid, and the team that has better armor and loot will usually win. If the gear is the same, team chemistry, communication, PvP skills will always prevail. Now that you know basics of scrims, I know it's kind of a lot, it's hard to absorb, but hopefully this will help. I will show you a full round. I will pause and explain what players are doing and why. And I really hope you enjoy this next part. It's really cool, and this will give you a little bit more depth, and if you didn't understand this part, you might understand the next segment I'm going to show you. So have fun and enjoy it.
Hey, Poos, remember, same thing. Kari takes the 1v1 and then I help you. Okay. We like double team the other guy. There might be 3 on the other end, by the way.
Yeah, there's 3. Insane's there for a sword.
Oh,
I got backstabbed.
Crane is like 1 hit. Crane is now 1 hit. Like
Crane wasn't.
So after bridging the middle, I grab 2 M's and I head back to my base, and then I bank diamonds until I get an iron set, and I split it with my teammates, and then I head back to middle. Alright, let's go.
wait, put someone put concrete around it.
I will.
Alright, let's go.
There's an M here, Kari. Here, I'll just drop next to a treasure, bank it.
Yeah, I was the one who dropped that.
Destroying a Vulcan.
I died.
I'm here,
So
I'm
that
right behind your nerd. Fight it.
I'll take my sword. Please take my sword.
Okay, I'm just gonna go. Did someone get their pants in the chest? Did someone get the
Yeah,
iron
I did.
pants?
I'll take it.
Oh, I don't have chain hands.
Oh, there's like mad stuff for you here. Nerd.
After we take back mid control, Delta dropped me some blocks, and I go for stall while he stays at mid and banks.
Hold on.
NT star. Is that anyone we know or no?
So after failing to block in, I'm gonna go to diamonds and get a bow. And what you see here is I'm actually breaking the blocks around our treasure, because we had some rushers come in, and when there's a lot of blocks around your treasure and it's really messy, it's very easy for your opponents to block in. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually breaking the blocks, so it's clean and hard to break in. Just bank it. Here, take this fight, come here.
I'm fighting Crane.
I killed him.
Oh,
Shane.
never mind.
Okay.
I won my
There's
ones.
nerd arrows in the chest
Nice.
for
Okay.
Crane's like 1 hit. Crane's like 1 hit.
You lost your own.
Alright.
Really?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, because I wasn't full.
Oh,
I
what
killed
a
Crane.
snipe!
Oh, nice.
I said it.
Well,
Was
keep
literally
banking.
one.
Keep banking.
Take M's. After giving my M's to the banker, I do what is called the bow stall, which is I prevent players from getting to mid by shooting them off. Knocking him off.
Nice. Let's go.
I'm going diamond gen.
I'm so off though.
I'm going diamond gen.
Nice.
Poos, you banking?
I am.
We
probably
have 14. We have 14.
Go mid, Hikari.
I have nothing. You guys rotate. Alright, rotate
I'm
quick.
about to go, about to go, about to go, about to go, about to go.
Nice, keep on banking. Nice.
I get wood around our treasure.
Wait, diamond side rush, diamond side rush.
Delta just called out that they got the first diamond, which means we're at a disadvantage. So we need to buckle down, hold that mid, and bank.
Where is he? What the heck? He just made a little window.
Woken's building up.
I just keep praying. Oh wait, no, he clutched.
Nerd, where are you at?
Oh my gosh, I just clutched that.
You're here? Okay, just get the 1M.
Nice.
Woken's still side. Woken
Security's blowing.
Woken bypass, Woken bypass. He's right here.
Yeah, I got stuck. I had no block.
I don't have items, I don't have items.
I'm sitting on the treasure.
I got him.
Nice, nerd!
Hey, go mid, you guys go mid. You guys need to win this mid fight. And give me double gens, we win this round.
I'm at the base.
Now that both teams have diamond sets, the game is even. What sets you apart is banking, defending, and attacking. We're stalling forward, just bank hard.
Just keep clutching. Just keep clutching. One's bypassing, nerd. You need to tell me.
Nerd, come on.
Yes, let's go!
I got 19.
Like half a second ago, I'll leave out.
Go,
Like,
go.
I killed another one! Oh my god. Wait. Oh my god. And I know this is the last segment of the video, but I'm just gonna keep it chill. Alright, I've done 800 million hours of editing and I just want to take a break. Alright? So, why do people play in scrims is essentially the question that is going on right now. But there's one reason people play it and one reason only. It is so much fun. Oh my god. Like, so, I can't really stress this to players who haven't done it enough, but when you spend every day practicing with the same team and you analyze the other team's playstyles and you just go in front of 100 people and just destroy them, and then there's like 100 people spamming W, like that's just nothing can beat that. Like nothing can beat that. And that's all it is. It's just fun. It's pure fun. It's like adrenaline. It's super, especially in these Hive competitive scenes. It's just pure fun. So that's why people play in scrims. But if you watch it to the end, like right now, I'm about to end the video. But like I literally love you because the retention is insane, and this is about to be recommended. You faceless. Like, okay, I'm about to kill this guy. Ready? I love you. Stick to it.